Now to immigration and cracking down on the migration numbers, which Angus Taylor says will be a feature of his leadership. Despite what Labor says and what the left say, having an orderly and robust migration system isn't a radical concept. In fact, even former Democrat presidential candidate Hillary Clinton said as much over the weekend at the Munich Security Conference.
There is a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far, it's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people, and how we're going to have a strong family structure, because it is at the base of civilization.
Joining me now to discuss this and more, Liberal Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa Price. Well, she used that speech, Jacinta, yes, to have a swipe at Trump, but, you know, there was nothing radical in what she said there. In fact, it would be completely aligned with many of your thoughts on migration, with Angus Taylor's thoughts on migration. But if it was to come out of your mouth or his mouth, there'd be plenty on the left who'd call you racist.
Oh, exactly, right. It's incredible now. There are leftist figures who are coming out repeating what we have been talking about, Australians have been talking about. They are recognising that migration settings have gone too far. And Australians have been talking about this and is a great concern and has been for some time now. And, you know, this is what we need to get right. We need to get the balance right with numbers that are going to support and sustain our housing, our infrastructure and our services. I mean, Australians want confidence that we can have a migration system that's going to restore social cohesion, but also protect our way of life. And we have every right, and Australians have every right to hold that concern and seeing what's going on globally, which now Hillary Clinton is obviously addressing and recognising. This shouldn't be a fight or a talk about a particular race of people or anything like that, or racism, because we know that migrants come here of many different backgrounds. It's about striking the right balance and about restoring social cohesion, and God knows we need that in Australia right now.
Your comments were at the time about Indian migration, and I do want to make the point that when I spoke to the pollster Cos Samaras, a former Labor pollster, but still obviously now in the published poll world, he made it clear here on the show that that was a factual assessment, given his view that the majority of the Indian diaspora in Australia do vote Labor. But your real target after that attack and the sort of the pushing and shoving you got from Susan Lee's office was related more to her numbers man, Alex Hawke, who threw you under the bus. That was the point, wasn't it?
That was the entire point. I mean, I felt like I was hung out to dry, and it wasn't, specifically about those issues. I would have appreciated if my colleagues had clarified, as I had done, as was asked of me by the Leader's Office, to clarify my comments, and that it was steeped in Cos Samaras' research, in his polling data. That's what it was about, precisely. And there was a failure for my colleagues to actually make that clarification on my behalf. And and deeply disappointing that I was, in fact, then thrown under a bus. It provided the opportunity for the raging leftist media to vilify me further. I mean, how better a way to try to vilify a woman of mixed heritage in this country, but who was conservative-leaning, and probably a punishment because of the referendum and those who supported the yes vote. But what better way to vilify me and try to discredit me by attempting to paint me as somebody who's racist, which is utterly nonsense, and takes away from the very issue that Australians feel like they are being vilified for now, which is the migration issue that we have to get right in this country. Because if we don't, we put ourselves at risk of ensuring that there's more protests filled with hate, and that there's a potential for another terrorist attack on our soil. These are deep concerns. And we need to get on top of that, and we need to get on top of that sooner rather than later, and come together on those issues.
Yeah, it is interesting that the ABC journalist who went after you after those comments, it was revealed in Senate estimates last week that the boss of the ABC, Justin Stevens, told staff that everyone needed to sort of support that journalist regardless of how they felt about that, or, you know, her role in whether she was right or wrong in going toe-to-toe with you. But that says everything about the ABC. Just in terms of what we expect tomorrow will be the announcement of Taylor's front bench. You said you had a breather today, that you're ready to step up. If you get the call, have you got the energy? Have you got the fight? Are you ready to get back at it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have got certainly a new lease on life. I feel that we are, Gus has got a plan going forward, which is about ensuring that we're going to protect our way of life in this country and restore our living standards in Australia after Labor have absolutely smashed all of us in this country. We're all feeling it one way or another. But I have got a new wind with a new leadership, a new direction, and I'm ready to go. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm ready to go and fight on behalf of Australians, because this country needs it. And I don't know if it is my Irish Scottish heritage on one side or the Warrapuri side of me, but I've got fight in me and I'm ready to go and use it.
Certainly
Part of the Australian spirit.
I can hear
back.
I can hear my audience. I can hear my audience saying, "About bloody time! About time! We want her back on the paddock." So we'll leave it there, Jacinta. Let's hope you get that call tomorrow. We see you back on the front bench. Thank you very much.